Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to another edition of Bigfoots Pad Paranormal Radio. I'm King Sasquatch. On the phone with me are my teammates and co-hosts.
King Gray, also known as Tim. Mothman Warrior 1.0, also known as Nick.
Archangel, also known as Brent.
And also on the phone with us tonight we have Becky. Are you on the phone?
Yep.
Hey Becky, long time no talk.
I know.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hi Becky. Yeah, I actually caught the bulletin just in time and saw it, the show was coming on. So.
Well, we are going to start with some paranormal news. I guess tonight we're going to start with something that the news Nick chose for tonight. I guess he says, mad science, growing meat without animals. Pork chops or burgers cultivated in labs could eliminate multiple problems. Winston Churchill once predicted that it would be possible to grow chicken breasts or wings more efficiently without having to keep an actual chicken. And in fact, scientists have since figured out how to grow tiny nuggets of lab meat. They say it will one day be possible to produce steaks in vats sans any livestock. Pork chops or burgers cultivated in labs could eliminate contamination problems that regularly generate headlines these days, as well as address environmental concerns that come with industrial livestock farms. However, such research opens up strange and perhaps even disturbing possibilities once considered to be fiction, or science fiction. Well, pretty much they're saying you could avoid animal suffering, you could cut down on foodborne ailments such as mad cow disease, salmonella, or germs like swine flu, and it says that you'd have a lot more agricultural land available since you would have livestock on it. Pretty much they're saying that they're too small right now, that you could make them bigger, like a bigger, I don't know, just a bigger scale. Also, people are saying that they think that it's messing with God and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't know, what do you think, Brent?
I don't know.
They grow in meat in labs. What's your opinion?
Messing with nature and stuff.
What did you say, Brent?
I said messing with nature and stuff.
It is, like Jurassic Park style?
Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine if the meat, came alive and, grew legs.
There's something screwy around here.
Just come out and attacks like a velociraptor.
What? Is that you, Brent?
No.
Whoever just talked, that didn't sound like any of you guys.
That was Nick.
That was you, Nick?
I was just Mothman Poirier.
Some folk will never eat a skunk, but then again some folk will, like Cletus the slack-jawed yokel.
What was that?
Cletus the slack-jawed yokel.
Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, Jeremy has his sound effects back, so we might be hearing quite a few tonight.
Well, I don't know if you know who Zahi Hawaddis is, the giant Egyptian antiquities expert, the head of antiquities for Egypt. Well, right now they're arguing, trying to make a national law saying that museums shouldn't be able to take away Egyptian artifacts and other artifacts from tombs away from their home countries. Like right now they're saying the Rosetta Stone is stolen property, and he says that they're trying to take the British government to court.
Well, they do have the right because it is theirs originally. But then again, the British did own them at one time, so it's that's kind of their property too, though.
Yeah.
Well, right now they're saying that it's like either finders keepers or it belongs to the home country is what they're saying.
Well, I think I could see either way though, because the British, it could be theirs because they own them, and then it could be the Egyptians because it was theirs originally. But what do you think, Nick?
Yeah, it was originally owned by the Egyptians, and that is their country, that is their ancestors. Therefore, they should have the right to the artifact.
What do you think, Brent?
I don't even know.
What do you think?
You use me, Skinner! You use me!
Well, pretty much you are using the people, though. I mean, what's the point of even going on an archaeological dig if whatever you find can't go back to your country? Or, like, for instance, like another point that the British government's saying is, what if the country goes to war and can't protect its stuff? Or what if, for instance, I don't know, you find some ancient Babylonian thing in Iraq and war, like, blows up the museum or something?
Well, that is true, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument for that.
That would suck.
It's like the Library at Alexandria, remember? The Greeks and everyone took care of it until the Arabs came in and just burnt it to the ground.
Yeah.
Like they didn't think it was nothing.
You know, one of the greatest libraries, if not the greatest library in the world, burnt to the ground.
The Arabs didn't like it.
Well, I don't know. I kind of think it should go. Well, they said right now the main thing they're fighting over is a bust of Nefertiti that they recently found.
I think I seen that in the Discovery Channel.
Well, Nefertiti's tomb was just found not too long ago.
Oh, there was something about Nefertiti on TV not too long ago either on Discovery Channel.
Well, also they're saying that they don't want to split up the artifacts either. Like, they tried making a compromise, and they said no. They don't want to send half the artifacts to Egypt and half to England. They want to keep them all together. That's what started the whole main argument.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It could be a very sticky situation with all those different countries just fighting over things.
Oh my God.
Another thing, Intel wants to put brain implants in its customers' heads by 2020 because they're saying they want brainwaves to try to operate computers, TVs, and cell phones without the use of your hands.
Yeah, that'd be like a total takeover.
Scientists anticipate that consumers will adapt quickly to the idea and indeed crave the freedom of not requiring a keyboard, mouse, or remote control. And surfing the internet will be way easier, they're saying. I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if I trust that.
Hey, Greg, don't you think that's like a big conspiracy maybe? You know, they're trying to implant computers in people's heads?
Yeah, just a little bit. But they're doing that with bugs too. They're doing that with flies. They're controlling flies. like with little microchips. It's crazy.
You want to do that?
Oh, I never heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. They had it like on like a little pin, and then they were like controlling it, like controlling the legs, controlling the head, and then like how to fly and stuff, like navigate. It's crazy. And they almost they use a joystick, and like you know what like jets use, those like navigator lines where they go like yes, ha ha. Anyways, they have like a little game station thing they use like on a laptop.
Oh gosh! Wow. Yeah, Jeremy.
They don't eat those.
Jeremy's sound effects.
What about their legs, Fred?
What's that?
What about their legs?
Whose legs?
What about their legs? They don't eat those.
I don't know.
I thought that was funny.
I don't think they need them either.
That's funny.
Well, on the next topic, it says polar bears' climate change is forcing them to move into northern Canada with grizzly bears, and they said that they're starting to mate with polar bears, and they're forming hybrid bears.
Oh.
Hybrids.
Who is that, Jay? Was that one of your sound effects?
No, I wish it was.
That was me. That was me.
That is so demonic.
That really sounded like a sound effect. I thought it was.
I know, that poor Becky's just sitting here like us, like wondering what the heck is going on.
But that wasn't a sound effect.
And yeah, the hybrid bears. Anything else about the hybrid bears?
Well,
Well,
I've
they're
heard that
saying
before.
that hybrid bears are mating with grizzly bears. They're getting mean.
Yeah, I've heard that before, where they're like their wild instinct it becomes like twice as aggressive.
But here's a good one. Texas UFOs, 28 reports in 20 days. And they said almost all of them are of orange glowing lights in a triangular pattern. And it says that at one point they timed them and looked at them. They said that they were blue with a telescope. And they said that it was actually one single UFO the size of a 10-story building with two turquoise-colored orbs vibrating on the bottom.
That's insane.
Well, I know on our one trip we've seen something that was like had two lights on the bottom and all that.
Oh yeah.
Well, also says that China's getting some crazy UFO videos right now too. Right, Fred?
Wow.
Yeah. Which one?
And then it says those hobbits that they found, those weird little skeletons, I guess, where they find those Africa or wherever. Well, it says researchers from Stony Brook University Medical Center in New York have confirmed that new species of hobbit is a genuine ancient human species and not a descendant of healthy humans dwarfed by disease. So it's its own species. Basically, it's saying that Indonesian and Australian scientists discovered small-bodied, small-brained fossils on the remote island of Flores in the Indonesian archipelago. The discovery of the new human species, called Homo floresiensis, has spawned much debate, with some researchers claiming that the small creatures are really modern humans whose tiny head and brain are the result of a medical condition.
Mm-hmm. What?
Interesting.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
It is very interesting. But, you know, all these, like, subhuman hybrids, like, they would talk about the hobbits and all that stuff. I don't know what to think. I know, like, of course, us and the Neanderthals were the two most dominant species before we wiped them out.
Yeah.
Well,
these little... Okay. I was going to say, these little creatures that they're finding are very interesting specimens, but they clearly just don't have the physical attributes to survive in the natural environment.
Well, right now, I guess it's saying Santa Claus are demanding swine flu vaccines, like the Santas in the malls.
No.
What do you think of that?
I didn't even know what you're saying.
No, people are saying that Santa Claus is like the ones in the malls. They're demanding flu vaccines, and I guess the government doesn't want to do it.
Well, shouldn't they just get those on their own?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, no, Santa Claus shouldn't have to put up with all that shit either. They have to fight Arnold Schwarzenegger over Turbo Man, remember?
Yeah.
Don't touch it! It's the history eraser button, you fool!
Well,
Yeah.
let's say the top 8 dinosaur discoveries of 2009 are out. I guess the 2009 one so far, the world's smallest carnivore was found. The world's smallest carnivore was only 1.5 feet tall. They also found a tiny T-Rex was number 2, a bird-footed theropod was number 3, parrot reptile 4, tank-like ankylosaur was number 5, a tyrannosaur was 6, feathered herbivore 7, and the giant ostrich was number 8. So quiet on here tonight.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's not really with all the sound effects.
Yeah, we just don't want to be interrupted.
Well, I just found something else out. I'm sorry, my page is freezing on me here. Well, anyways, sushi DNA tests reveal fraud is the name of the topic. A biologist walks into a sushi bar and orders some tuna. What does he get? Escalar, a nasty fish with buttery flesh that causes bizarre episodes of diarrhea accompanied with waxy intestinal discharge. It's not a joke. It happened 5 times the same scientist during a brief research project. The results of that study were published Wednesday. A piece of tuna sushi has the potential to be an endangered species, a fraud or a health hazard, wrote the authors of all 3 cases that were uncovered in this study. A team of researchers from the Columbia University of Natural History ordered tuna from 31 sushi restaurants and then generic tested them to determine the fishes in the dishes. More than half of them were misrepresented or couldn't clarify the type of fish they were looking at. Several were selling endangered southern bluefin tuna.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds crazy. It sounds like it gives you some really bad diarrhea, kind of like maybe gas station chili. Really dangerous like gas station chili, you know? That's pretty nasty, ain't it, Brent? Hey, Brent, your impression. Chili.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to go to the topic. All right. You listen to BFP Radio.
Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathe fire, his hand in the sky, Attila, and Gatsuki.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed. A horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. People yakety-yak the street and waste your time a day. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. A horse is a horse, of course, and this one will talk to his voice, his horse. You never heard of a talking horse?
I love Basso, it's rich in chocolate tea. Chocolate flavored Basso is mighty good for me. Mama puts it in my milk for extra energy. Basso gives me iron and sunshine vitamin D. Oh, I love Basso, that's the drink for me.
All right, and we are back.
Oh, it's really good for me. Mama puts it in my mouth for extra energy.
That's my song.
That was disturbing.
Yes, very.
Yeah, they were Brent loves Mr. Ed, and then Bosco is clearly Nick's commercial.
Yeah. What, that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the sun here real quick. All right. So,
this is really random tonight.
Spring-Heeled Jack is a character from English folklore said to have existed during the Victorian era and able to jump extraordinarily high. All right, now before I finish this. This is pretty weird. Let me finish the first couple paragraphs of this, what I wrote down, and then I'll start answering questions here. The first claimed sighting of Spring-Heeled Jack was known to have occurred in 1837. Later, alleged sightings were reported all over England, from London to Sheffield and Liverpool. They are especially prevalent in southern London and later in the Midlands of Scotland. Many countries have been proposed to the nature of the identity of Spring-Heeled Jack. The legend of Spring-Heeled Jack gained immense popularity in this time due to the tales of his bizarre appearances and paranormal abilities, to the point where he became the topic of several works and books. He's described by people to have seen him as having a terrifying and frightful appearance with diabolical physiognomy, clawed hands and eyes that resembled red balls of fire. One report claims that beneath his black coat he wore a helmet and a tight-fitting white garment like an oilskin. Many stories also mention a devil-like aspect, Spring-Heeled Jack making great leaps. Several reports mention that he could breathe out blue and white flames and that he wore sharp metallic claws at his fingertips. And at least 2 people claim that he was able to speak comprehensible English. Anyways, he was seen up until 2000. It's mainly seen over in England and over here. But before I continue, I want to hear your impression of this, Brent.
Sounds like a fairy tale.
Always my impression.
What did you say, Brent?
Said always my impression.
Yeah, yours is first.
Yeah, what do you think of this, Becky?
You know what? I don't even think I've actually even heard of this before. If I have read about it, it's just been briefly mentioned, but I'm looking at some articles on it right now online, and it almost looks like a character from a comic book. And I mean, I don't know. It's very strange. I guess it's supposed to be like a man, but yeah.
It's supposed to be like a paranormal thing. Sometimes it's a ghost, other times it's I don't know. But
yeah, the picture it looks like a human. It looks like a guy dressed up in a costume.
Pretty much.
Yeah, in the depictions that are given, it does look like it in the paintings that are done. But we wanted to touch upon this because yeah, I knew it. But we decided to touch upon the subject tonight because there is such a widespread sightings of it, and we just thought it'd be interesting to cover it. You know,
Here's Johnny.
It's on the borderline of completely unbelievable, but I mean,
yeah.
you know.
Well, on the phone we have Stephanie on the phone. My fiance.
Hi.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, Brent and Becky and me and Nick are on the phone too.
Hey. Oh, hi.
Hey.
Well, anyways, I'm going to start with some reports here that Nick wrote down. We're going to start with the early and go towards nowadays. The first accounts of Spring-Heeled Jack were made in London in 1837. The last reported sighting, and in the most secondary literature, have been made in Liverpool in the 1900s. The first report of Jack was from a businessman returning home late one night from work, who told of being suddenly shocked as a mysterious figure jumped with ease over high railings over a cemetery landing right in his path. No attacker was reported, but the submitted description was disturbing. A muscular man with devilish features and large pointed ears and nose with protruding glowing eyes. Later in October 1837, a girl by the name of Mary Stevens was walking to Lavender Hill, where she was working as a servant, after visiting her parents on her way through Clapham Common, wherever that is, in England. According to her later statements, a strange figure leapt from a dark alley, and he grabbed her with a tight grip of his arms and began to kiss her face while ripping her clothes and touching her flesh with his claws, which according to her were cold, clammy with those of a corpse. And in panic, the girl screamed, making the attacker flee from the scene. And anyway, it said that they launched a search for the guy after this. And the next day, he was said to have chosen a very different victim. He said he attacked a passing carriage, causing the coachman to lose control, crash, and severely injure himself. And they said that he jumped over a 9-foot-high wall with a high-pitched, ringing laughter. Strange.
Crazy.
Yeah, very
that's
weird.
weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know. This one's Nick's topic here.
So we got a jumping Freddy Krueger that laughs from a high-pitched voice, and a perverted British Freddy Krueger that can jump very high. I mean,
it sounds like he's like. To me, it just sounds like a rapist to me.
Yeah, he definitely has a thing for the ladies, apparently. So.
It's a scientific fact that women like round, muscular butts.
Well, it looks like spring-heeled Jack like muscular butts with his claws. The Becky is definitely whooping that.
Blood. I want your soul. And I want them both right now.
Well, I don't know. Brent, I'd like to hear what you have to say about this.
About what we were just talking about?
Yeah, about him, basically raping this lady and jumping over a 9-foot-tall fence and then going crazy over someone in a cemetery.
I think that's awkward. Take him out to dinner first. Get the nose in, and then,
like the
try
Bigfoot,
something.
like the Bigfoot potato peels, Brent, remember?
Come on. Don't be a baby.
Well, another thing, though, I want to hear Stephanie what she has to say on this, because she didn't know nothing about this. We started talking about it.
What, the rapist? What?
No, just this. What do you think about all this? Your personal opinion on this whole entire ordeal.
I don't know. He kind of sounds like a Sasquatch. I don't know. It sounds weird.
Sasquatch? It's in the middle of London.
Yeah, but still, I mean, is he a human? Do we know if he's a real human?
It sounds almost like it's human, just because of the way it goes after, female humans. It seems like it has some sort of human characteristic to it. I mean, I don't know why a normal animal would try to rape women. It seems like it has some sort of association. It's actually human or just some sort of, I don't even know, but it seems like it's got at least partly human or something like that.
Like half and half.
Well,
maybe. Yeah.
Well, just the same way people describe Bigfoot as somewhat human. Go on.
I know over in London, there's a legend of something called, I think, the Gladsbury vampire or something.
I've heard of it.
And, I don't know if these legends have any connection at all, but they do describe the Gladsbury vampire as a creature that can, have supernatural abilities like that, and it's seen with long wings or a cape even, so it's just kind of an interesting correlation to maybe draw.
Who are you?
Yeah, it's just kind of like the Mothman and Jersey Devil,
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to read the famous reports, some of them. Some of the most famous ones were attacks on 2 girls, also known as Lucy Scales and Jane Haslop. And this was done in the Times in London back in the early 1800s, mid-1800s, 1838. But anyways, I'm going to read them, like, basically both of what they've seen. Jane Alsop reported that on the night of February 19th, she answered the door of her father's house to a man claiming to be a police officer who told her to bright a light, claiming that we have caught Springfield Jack here in the lane. She brought the person a candle and noticed that he was wearing a large cloak. The moment she handed him the candle, however, he threw off the cloak and presented the most hideous and frightful appearance, vomiting blue and white flame from his mouth, while his eyes resembled red balls of fire. She reported that he wore a large helmet and that his clothing, which appeared to be very tight-fitting, resembled white oilskin. Without saying a word, he caught hold of her and began tearing her gown with his claws, and he was wearing some sort of metallic substance. She screamed for help and managed to get away from him and ran inside the house. He caught her on the steps and tore her neck and arms with his claws. She was rescued by one of her sisters, and the assailant fled. That just sounds like a killer to me.
Yeah, Jack the Ripper style.
Yeah.
A killer rapist.
8 days after
they
that,
describe it as a man.
What?
I'm just saying they describe it as a man, and it has man features. So, I mean, I don't know if it obviously doesn't sound like a normal person, normal human, but it's just the way it manifests, if it is some sort of entity or something, it tries to make itself seem human. So, I don't know.
I thought it was 9 feet tall.
I desperately want to make love to a schoolboy.
But they said it jumped over a 9-foot-tall fence.
Oh, okay. I just got confused then.
This whole topic's confusing. Nick explained it best.
Yeah,
this is more of like a killer murder mystery than paranormal, if you ask me.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds more like a folklore kind of.
yeah. I don't know. Maybe somebody took the Jack the Ripper story and they kind of turned it into more of a supernatural event. That could definitely be the roots of this. It sounds maybe more like a legend. But then again, people say Bigfoot's just a legend or Mothman's just a legend. So, I mean, we do have to be open-minded to everything. And the Jersey Devil.
I definitely think it's possible that it exists or existed, but it's very odd the way it's described and everything. Because it does sound like it's supposed to look like a person, but it has the characteristics of sort of this creature, and it's, with the fire and everything, and just its ability to jump really high. It's just really strange.
Well, if it only goes after, like, women, then it could be some sort of form of, like, an incubus, because they only go after women, and they're, like, supposed to be, like, kind of semi-demonic, but they're not totally looking like weird creatures or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. I never thought of it like that before.
Yeah. I mean, it could even, well, we know maybe it could be even a type of alien. I mean, you look at the those floating people out of Mexico, with the jetpacks. They look like people, but
and the original Jack had like metallic.
And they said, the spring heel. I want to call him Springfield. The spring heel Jack had like a metallic, oily, tight clothes on.
There's nary an animal alive that can outrun a greased Scotsman. No, out we go.
So it sounds like it even could be maybe even a type of alien if it does exist. With the type of abilities it sounds like it has, there's a countless number of possibilities.
Mm-hmm. Well, we have 26 minutes left in the show, and we are going to go on a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to continue our discussion. Right now, we have a couple of questions that are coming in on our MySpace and on our AOL screen name, and we're going to get to those soon, and you're listening to Bigfoots Pad Paranormal Radio.
Get your paws off me, you dirty ape!
He can talk. 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 He can talk.
I can sing.
Ooh, help me, Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Oh, Dr. Zayas.
Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. What's wrong with me?
I think you're crazy.
Want a second opinion?
You're also lazy. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas. Dr. Zayas, Dr. Zayas.
And take it from the Colonel. Kentucky Fried Chicken is finger-licking good.
are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
Anyways, we are back on Bigfoot's Pad Paranormal Radio. Tonight's topic, we're talking about Spring-Heeled Jack, which is pretty much, it's a paranormal ghostly figure that's been appearing since the 1800s, originally from England, but it came overseas to North America, and it liked to try to rape and molest women. So pretty much, we're having a debate right now over if it's a murderer of some sort or if it's a ghost-like, incubus-like subject. We have a couple of questions coming in right now on our MySpace. I think Nick's going to have to handle these questions off.
All right, yeah, what questions are we getting?
We have one right now that asks, do you think these attacks, did any of these actually succeed?
What? Exactly what?
Did any of these attacks succeed? Like, is there evidence of these, like, pictures or anything like that?
Not that I know of. Actually, King Sasquatch was the one who referred me to the topic in the first place, so maybe you could infer us on some more details. Do you know anything more, Jay?
Well, judging from what I've been hearing, it's mostly in 1800s. Me and Nick are both, we're all pretty new to this. I'm not really sure. To me, it sounds like he tries too hard and always gets tossed around and never really completes what he wanted. Yeah. I think he's an overachiever. He tries too hard. I don't know. What do you think, Nick or Brent? Do you think it's like a ghost, or do you think it's a person, or?
I don't know. I think it's probably some crazy person like hopped up on ecstasy, wearing some raver uniform, going raping people and shit.
But how long did it last? I mean, it started when 1837, and you said it was last sighting or encounter was in 2000.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a different person. It couldn't just be one person.
Yeah.
You're really, really, really old, but.
Yeah, my personal opinion is like I haven't narrowed down between the two. Like I think, like Stephanie said, I think it's either like some type of an incubus maybe, or it's like a rapist, but he got like so famous because all of his attacks, he got the Jack the Ripper status kind of. Well, that's my two guesses. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, there definitely is. Like I said, it could be just a factual person whose actual story was just stretched greatly. But there's definitely there's a good old saying that to all folklore and myth, there's some ground of truth located within them. So the rapist part we all probably know is true. It could even be Jack the Ripper, but it also could be a incubus, or like I said, even maybe a type of alien, just by the way it's described.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of the questions also, they're saying, what do you think that this flight suit or whatever it is, what do you think could be the purpose of this?
Be the purpose of what, sir?
The suit, like the flight suit that everyone's saying, or whatever it is, the oily skin and all that.
Well, like Nick said, if it is an alien, actually that would be beyond describing because, people back when would have known how to explain it,
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at a lot of descriptions of aliens, if they've been nowadays, you know, they get tested, say they have oily skin or they wear very tight, like a spacesuit. You know, I don't want to. I'll use layman's terms, a spacesuit, but a very flexible, tight material. And like I said, with this leaping ability of this this creature, whatever it may be, 9, 10 feet, 10 feet plus, we might be talking about. There could be some type of anti-gravity device. I don't know. This is just hearsay and speculation, but you know, it's pretty much as solid a theory as we probably could think of on a subject like this.
But it is interesting now. Now, I thought it was going to be weird at first, but it is kind of an interesting topic.
Well, pretty much, I'm kind of stuck with all kinds of things. I don't really know what to think.
Yeah.
What do you think it is, Stephanie?
I don't know. Like, it could be a bunch of things. Like, it could just be like an alien or some sort of like demonic creature. But I mean, if it's still like, when did you say the last attack was? Like in 2000, or was it only in the 1800s?
1997.
Oh, okay. Well, then that maybe it is some sort. It's probably some sort of weird creature or something. Maybe like an alien. I mean, like you said, it could be anything. I mean, I don't know. It's really confusing now because there's so many different things to put into the topic.
Yeah. And Becky, now we're going around the table. What do you think, Becky? Overall, what do you think? What's your opinion?
The only thing I can say really is it's a phenomenon. I mean, whatever it is, it's hard to say whether it's some sort of demonic creature or just. I don't think it's just a person, because if the attacks span that long, it couldn't just be one person. It had been somebody else who started doing it, just maybe a copycat of some sort. But
yeah, I know. Maybe Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Becky.
No, I'm just saying. It's just hard to say because it is really interesting, but it's also just very difficult to pinpoint anything because it doesn't sound like anything else really that you've ever even like heard about or read about. It's like its own unique thing.
And in 1953, one of the newer sightings, with a figure resembling descriptions of Spring Hill Jack, was spotted in a pecan tree in the yard of an apartment building in Houston, Texas. By Hilda Walker, Judy Myers, and Howard Phillips, they described a man in a black cape, skin-tight pants, and quarter-length boots, and gray or high-fitting clothes. I guess that the cops were called out, and the guy leapt out of the tree and over the cops and left. But in 1997, not far from the Welsh border, a traveling salesman named Marshall, this was Nick's one that Nick found earlier, in 1997, seen Spring Hill Jack, and the man leaped with an enormous inhuman bound, passed him on the road, and slapped him on the cheek, he says. And he wore a salesman outfit and a black ski suit over it, he says.
Tally ho, I'm going back to with my glove.
Did you attack the guy?
A drive-by smacking. A drive-by smacking.
Maybe he had to go to a meeting. He was in a hurry. If you notice, he didn't try to rape the guy, though.
Yeah. Then it probably is some sort of, I don't know. I personally still think it's like a creature of some sort, because they do, I mean, those type of things, if they like are doing this to like reproduce, and they probably have like a whole little clan of like little things running around. I don't know. That's what I think, though.
They have a little clan.
What'd you say, Nick?
So you got a clan of a bunch of perverted guys running. So you got a bunch of perverted Freddy Kruegers running around in spandex from England.
Yes, exactly.
You called down the thunder. Well, now you got it.
Hey, Brett, what would you do if one of these things would come by and slap you in the face? What would you do?
I'd be pretty mad, but scared at the same time.
He could jump like 20 feet in the air, just came down and smacked, like backhanded you upside the face and went away going, ran away.
I'd be pretty scared, but like.
I could see Brett like freaking chasing him in his truck though.
Well,
wow.
Some of these things are kind of strange, though. There's a couple of theories. Skeptical positions. Skeptical investigators have dismissed the story of Spring Hill Jack as mass hysteria, which developed around various stories of a boogeyman or devil, which has been around for centuries, or exaggerated urban myths, it says. Paranormal conjectures. A variety of paranormal explanations have been proposed to explain the origin of him, including that he was an extraterrestrial entity with non-human appearance and features, like the red eyes, reflective clothes, and all that, or a superhuman agility, like a super-type human, or that he was a demon.
Well, sorry to interrupt and everything, but you know it's kind of weird. Just the fact that we're talking about this, I've never heard this story talked by anyone before, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully we got a pretty big audience tonight.
What'd you say?
I said, so I hope we got a pretty big audience tonight.
Oh, we do. We currently have about 500 listening.
Oh, wow.
Great.
This is just something random. It doesn't really have to do with the topic. Have you noticed that some of our topics, like the weirder topics, usually get the most people?
Yeah.
Weird is interesting.
That our weirder topics always get more people.
Yeah, I know. Like the reptoids. That was our most popular episode to date, actually.
That was quite interesting.
Nick, the reptoids.
The
reptoids. Too bad Bill hasn't called in for a while. I miss Bill. He was fun to have on the show.
Bill was the super fan. That's why I could explain that one.
But you know what? He had a bunch of weird theories, like the Hollow Earth theory, and he put them together with them with the reptoids, you know, all into one. So he was pretty good with his knowledge. House is crumbs.
Oh my gosh. House is crumbs.
Play it one more time, Jared.
I will. 1 second. I'm trying to see if my other one worked. Which
Sorry if the show's kind of choppy tonight. Like I said, Jared's got his soundboards up back and running, and with Jeremy, that's like putting a 5-year-old loose in a candy store, giving him $100. That's just. Yeah, he starts picking out every little random flavor he can find, even if it doesn't make any sense.
What? Does that gonk droid from Star Wars sound strange?
Yeah, very strange.
But it doesn't sound clear though?
Not really.
Oh.
Well, back on the topic though, like, you know they said he left 9 feet, right, in 1800? Right there? Anyways,
well,
said, you know how,
here's the thing. If he jumped 9 feet in the 1800s, what kind of patent is that, or what kind of device is that?
It's a creature.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say, exactly. Either a creature, an alien, or something, because nothing could leap that high. Like, well,
unless they're like an Olympic jumper or something.
I don't think they would hit a pole vault or something.
Well, like maybe they're just really good at it. I don't know. They can practice.
9 feet is like almost as tall as a 1-story building.
Oh, well, that's like almost 2 of me, like lengthwise, so that's pretty tall, I guess.
Well, our MySpace also has something else that people are asking a lot. There's not really any questions about shoes, like any reports, but I guess people are asking a lot about shoes. Do you think it has something to do with the shoes?
Was he wearing shoes, or was he barefoot?
No one really says.
Well, he was barefoot, then yeah.
That goes if he got his name, the Spring-Heeled Jack. That's what I assume it's from, instead of the shoes, maybe.
Yeah,
well,
maybe
in the autumn of
like
1877, Spring-Heeled Jack was seen in Newport Ark in Lincolnshire, wearing a sheepskin. An angry mob supposedly chased him and cornered him. And just before residents fired at him, they shot him and had no effect. They said, as usual, he was said to have made his usual leaping ability to lose the crowd and disappear. But they said there was a blood trail from the man's arms and feet area where he was not wearing the covered clothing.
Uh-oh. Maybe he invented flubber and he used it to jump.
Yeah. That's funny because I watched that movie like just a week ago.
Oh, God.
First should have been flubber.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll never know.
Yep. Well, we're happy because we got a Happy Cup today from McDonald's for free. Didn't we, Nick?
Yeah.
we got a Coke. They randomly give us like a Coke glass randomly, and we're like, okay.
Yeah.
But he called it a Happy Cup. So we're happy.
Yeah.
There's, I think it's one of my new favorite ones, Jeremy. Salted Crumb. What about you, Brent?
Which one?
Salted Crumb off Star Wars. You know the thing that makes the Jabba that always laughs, the little thing?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That.
Yeah, Jeremy has that sound effect. Hey, play it again, Jerry.
1 second. I have two of them real quick. I want to see if there's a difference. 1 second. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a new favorite here.
That's one of my new favorites, too. Salted Crumb.
Yeah. It looks like a Wicked Witch of the West or something. That works. Crazy.
Well, we have 7 minutes left in the show, and I guess we'll talk a little bit about what's going on with the team in tomorrow's show. We'll probably have a number 2 on this just because we're getting a lot of questions. But, yeah, as for tonight's topic, we know a little bit of background information, but there's not really a lot of information available on this. The only thing I could say is we could have an update. Yeah, tomorrow's show, I'm going to have Nick talk a little bit about tomorrow's show, because he could explain it best.
Yeah, tomorrow's the Mad Gas, or what, Madwan?
Mattoon.
Mattoon, the Mad Gassers, Mattoon, in Virginia. There's this creature that shows up at people's houses, and it's dressed up in, it has like a cape, and sometimes wears a mask in one description, and wears a tight black hat, and it comes and has this hose, and it injects gases into people's house. Wow. It injects gas. Wow. Okay.
Can you keep it serious?
Keep it serious. I mean,
sounds interesting. But
it's interesting, but just the way you say it, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, it sounds like maybe somebody goes off and eats a bunch of beans and comes over, you know? Anybody can be the Mad Gasser. But I mean, on a serious note, though, there, you know, it could be an alien possibly. Like it matches the description of maybe a gray or something along those lines, and it comes in, injects these gases into people's houses and makes them sick. It should definitely be an interesting show, to say the least.
Well, we're already getting questions about it already.
Jeez.
That'll be a good one. Well, usually our topics aren't so out there. It's just that we're trying to do something different to see if we could get a little people out there. What's that?
We're trying to spice it up a little bit.
I love it. Like, yeah. I love Piggy Pig.
Well, I don't know, Brett, what do you think? Like, what's your opinion on tomorrow's show?
I think it's going to be weird like this one. It's going to be about the same level of weird.
Yeah, but in good news though, Nick's from Ohio though, and Brent's going to be coming up on Friday, so the team's going to be united to do some more paranormal stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's really weird again.
I know either tonight wasn't weird enough.
The Trog Squad.
Yeah, it was a bomb squad. Or bomb
Biggity, yo. The Trog Squad.
The Trog
Squad, Nick. You don't remember?
Yeah, remember, Brent? The Trog Squad?
Throw down, boy.
Yeah.
When you put him in the trash can, that was insane. Well, we'll probably... Well, we have 4 minutes left in the show, and we're going to end it a little early for today. As usual, we'll end the show with a song. Let everybody say their goodbyes, and tomorrow's show starts at 9 p.m. Pacific time. It's The Bad Gasser of Mattoon, as chosen by Nick. And we'll probably have a couple more shows next couple days, just because Nick's in town. We might have a Thanksgiving one. We're not exactly sure yet, but for sure over the weekend we'll have one.
Yeah.
But anyways, let you guys all say your goodbyes, and then I'll leave you guys with the song.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye, everyone. Remember, Brian Goble makes stuff.
You-know-who just invited you to a secret wink-wink at the you-know-what. You certainly are popular now that you're a stone cutter.
Oh, yeah. Beer bust, beer blast, keggers, Steinhoist, AA meetings, beer night. It's wonderful, Marge. I've never felt so accepted in all my life. These people looked deep within my soul and assigned me a number based on the order in which I joined.
Who controls the British Crown? Who keeps the metric system down? We do. Who keeps Atlantis off the maps? Who keeps the Martians under wraps? We do. Who holds back the electric car? Who makes Steve Gutenberg a star? We do. Who robbed Kate Fish of their sight? Who rigged every Oscar night? We